I love being productive, guys. There, the perfect angle. Being productive is very hard. Even shooting this video, I got distracted 10 times. Oh, am I close enough? I think this mic is too close, too far. Maybe I should zoom in a bit. Oh, there's a hole in my shirt. I have to change my shirt so that I look more presentable. Getting distracted is a commonplace, and it's a problem that I have spent over a decade by now just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on and can I change this about myself. I wanted to conduct an experiment. I wanted to see if some my spiritual practices, which is labeling, observation, we'll talk about it, what I'm doing, what I did, would that help me actually get real world results in a more desired way, as in I want to be more productive. In spirituality, one of the most important concept is observing or noticing. To just notice anything, just your thoughts or your emotions or even your environment, a candle flame, light, your breath. Noticing is one of the most important, or if not the most important concept one could learn when coming into spirituality. It does it did not help me because I didn't know what to notice and my focus was not constant to begin with. I noticed my thoughts, then some other thought come up, then I noticed that, then I start noticing thoughts, then a thought comes up, why don't you notice the breath? I think that's more efficient. Then I start noticing the breath, get distracted. It just doesn't help. Then I came across a very powerful concept called labeling. I was watching a CS tutorial from this guy in MIT. And this guy, he recently passed away, but he's like the top computer professor in MIT. And I'm watching his video in YouTube. But he said something that kind of opened my eyes. He said, and this is like an intro computer science course that I was watching. And he said, one philosopher said this: one of the most powerful thing you can do is to give something a name, whatever it is. The moment you give it a name or label it, you have power over it. You can talk about it, you can discuss about it. When you label something, you automatically have power over it. But when you don't label something, it has power over you. And I'm like, wow, that's what I was missing. I experience my thoughts in a very visual way, as well as in a very auditory way, and it's like a weird mix of both, where it's almost like I'm living an experience that I made up. That sentence itself is wrong because once I started noticing my thoughts, I started noticing that, you know what? I always thought I am the one thinking these thoughts. But in reality, these thoughts are just arising. It's almost like the thoughts are arising and then I'm participating in the thoughts. And that was another what moment for me. I always felt it was my fault that I could be doing something better, but I'm not doing, and I always used to blame myself because I thought I am thinking all these thoughts. But the moment I realized the moment I literally saw that these thoughts are just arising, even if I don't do anything, these thoughts arise. The only thing I'm doing is I'm participating in the thought. It's like I'm participating in that reality. That's what I'm doing. A thought arises and I participate in the thought in like a very visual way. It's almost like I'm living a reality. And I was like, wow, okay, the thoughts are arising. But then I had like another breakthrough moment. I saw my thoughts are arising, and I saw that the thoughts also had a bias to them, meaning all my thoughts have a bias of sense of urgency. You have to think this thought, and it almost seduces me with cheap thrills. That's how I describe it. What do I mean by cheap thrills? Food, water, water. uh, YouTube. A thought arises with a sense of urgency, and the reaction I have to that thought is the reaction of participation. I participate in it, and then when I participate in it, more thoughts uh, come together. More like minded thoughts of that come together. For example, I was watching a video of a guy playing saxophone. Immediately, a thought arose in my mind where I was playing saxophone, and that gave me a dopamine hit. That gave me, wow, that could be me. I could be that guy. And then I and then the next thought that came in was, oh, what does it take to learn the music? How long would I have to spend for me to get to that level? Then I watched a video on a person animating something, and I thought, oh my god, that could be me. I could be that guy animating with such skill. How long do you think will it take for me to become a guy like that? 5 years? 10 years? If I left everything I'm doing right now and just focus on that, I could be that guy. It definitely makes me realize how much of a trapped rat I am in a box. I'm noticing most of the time I'm just reacting to different stimulus. And one thing I personally hate is to be put in a box. And I realized the one thing I hate the most, to be put in a box, is something I'm doing to myself. And that's the thought that keeps me up at night. When I do participate in the seductive thoughts, in the end, it's not even worth it. It's a pleasure that lasts 5 minutes, 2 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. That's about it. And then another seductive thought arises. I participate, the cycle repeats. But the moment I label it, and the moment I notice this, the biggest luxury that this entire practice gave me is to have a choice. And although I still do participate in these thoughts, and putting myself in a position where I have to choose consciously rather than to react itself is a step up for me, because every time the choice arises, I have a choice whether do I choose this thought or do I choose what I want to do and not react to this. I move closer and closer to this because I can consciously make the choice of not participating in them, because the payoff is just not worth it for me. I'm like going closer and closer to this, and I'm in this process right now. Let me know what you guys think. If you tried doing this on yourself, let me know what did you see when you notice your thoughts and awareness.